forbid a person does a sin of gazel, let's say a theft. So theft in the Hebrew letters is gimel, lamid, gimel, zayin, lamid, gazel. So it's a gimel, a zayin, and a lamid. The act of him stealing is he is now creating through that act. You don't see this because our eyes are very thick, but in the higher spiritual reality, which is in those worlds, you see, not physically, but you see that the organization of the world is created with more and more refined levels of existence, and that is higher and higher combinations of Hebrew letters. If anybody wants more information on this, we gave classes on the Tanya, which goes into this in depth. So the act of stealing is generating a gimel, a zayin, and a lamid, gazel. That's bad, because the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says when a person does an aveira, he creates a... I'm going to read you the Mishnah now, and I'm going to explain it in the following way. Doing an aveira generates what's called a kategor. A kategor means like a prosecuting angel. A prosecuting angel means, let's make it all very simple. If somebody does something negative and there's a witness there, so what does the witness now think about this person? He watched him steal it. So this witness who used to be a good friend of yours, how does he look at you now? Oh, you're a thief. You're a thief. You're a thief. So the act of stealing created now this new reality in this bystander called I see you as a thief. Okay, so that's on a simple level. And therefore, this person who maybe was his good friend before that, but now in a court of law, this person sees this guy as a thief. The act of theft generated this guy seeing him as a thief. So this is what it means, that when a person does a sin, it creates a prosecution. Because now you've generated prosecuting energy against you. Let's now take this into a spiritual concept. If a person does, God forbid, a sin, it says that it creates a prosecuting angel. This angel, let's call it gazel. Those Hebrew letters are generating an energy from heaven that's prosecuting this guy. And maybe that angel, when Hashem is considering giving blessing to this person, so this angel pipes up and says, how could you give blessing to this guy? Look, he steals. He's creating prosecution against this person. Now imagine not only that, he doesn't only steal, but he says Lashon Hara, and he's mean, and he gets angry, and he yells at his kids. There's all these voices of prosecution against this guy. That's not great. All those voices of prosecution are formulated through Hebrew letters. So in our example, that particular voice called theft, gazel. But remember, gazel is a gimel, a zayin, and a lamid. Now back to what we mentioned yesterday. Chilufeim begoylem. If you want to flip something around, you have to go to the world called golem. Golem is the highest spiritual world called chokhmah of Atzilus, which is a high place in your mind, which corresponds to the letter Yud. Corresponds to the letter Yud. So you have this world in the highest recesses of your mind that corresponds to the letter Yud. Now, why is that significant? Because if I can take something that happened and I can, so to speak, elevate it to the highest part of my consciousness, I can begin the process of healing. Because if gazel is the way it looks like down here, but I could take that energy and I can actually see and have charata and have remorse for what I did. Essentially what I do is I'm taking the letters back up to where they draw themselves from. All letters draw themselves from the world called goylem as a yud. So I take the gimel, it's no longer a gimel. I can now erase the letter back to a yud, and now instead of it being a gimel, I could draw something else. I could draw, let's say I want to turn that gimel to a lamid. So I take a lamid, and then I draw that down. And the zayin, I don't want it to be a zayin, I erase it, and I bring it, and I draw back down a bays. So I have leiv, I have a heart. And then instead of the last lamid, I retrace that to a yud, and I leave it as a yud, libi, that my heart. And all of a sudden I start changing reality, because this is all of teshuvah, by the way. Is that you're retracing the things that have happened back to their origin source. Okay? If you want to change things that have happened, you need to go back to the place where it's starting from. And by the way, when you trace yourself back to that level of your own consciousness, there's a deep sense of this action is not me. This action is just something that I got caught up in. So much of teshuvah is about, I only did that aveira. Why does a guy steal? He's only stealing because he's not connected to who he really is. If he's connected to who he really is as an infinite soul, so why does he steal? He doesn't need to steal. As an infinite soul, the Torah says not to steal. It says, whatever you need, you have. You don't need to steal. You don't need to acquire those things in a forbidden way. So the process of going back up to Chochmah, to the Yud, is the process of teshuvah. And once a person arrives at that place, you can start to heal and draw new things. You can start to rewrite your life. And therefore, people have gone through traumas. People have gone through very difficult things. This whole journey of going back to the deepest place in your consciousness is where you could start redesigning life. But you have to go all the way up, okay? So far, so good? Now the Rebbe says the following, V'zeh gam kein soid havidui. And this is what it means, the secret of vidui. Vidui, we do this. Ashamnu, bagadnu, I did this and I did that. So there's a lot more going on. So it says when a person does a chait, a person makes a kategor, like we mentioned. He makes a ministering angel. And the ministering angel is whatever the Hebrew letter combinations are of that Avera. So it can get wild, like if he did a whole bunch of Averas, all those Hebrew letters in that order create bad vibes. So let's say now he created this thing, whatever. He had a night out, and I don't want to say what happened. And there were all these combinations of letters that are not great combinations, are now prosecuting against him. So he wants to get rid of that. So part of the teshuvah process, okay, is that he has to be able to return to a place in himself where he realizes that this is not me. I'm sorry for what I did. I take responsibility. But deeper than that is one of the powerful things about, when a person does something he shouldn't have done. People relate to this when it comes to, let's say, a relationship. You have a couple and they have a fight. Now, it's bad, they're in a fight. Why is it that so often after the fight, the couple feels even closer after they make up? How could that be? Like, the fight should have just damaged things and now you're damaged. Like, why? And everybody knows this. Like, after a fight, there's even like a greater closeness. Like, what's up with that?
It's like when you work out, you do it to kind of tear little parts of your muscles so then they grow back stronger in a way where the
So I should fight. I should come home. Ooh, I got a great idea. I'm going to pick a fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to rip a little bit, you know, pull out some hair, and like, don't worry, tomorrow we'll be pumped up. We'll be jacked up even more as a couple. Right?
Great idea.
Great idea, right? So, I would advise against it. But why? It's true, maybe that's the mechanism. So let's go into it a little bit. Is that, I think, what's happening is the following. When there's a fight, there's a distance. There's a distance in that relationship. And that relationship, we hope, as the distance is created, a person touches a place where he feels, how could I have taken them for granted? Now I really appreciate who you are. When you kind of lose something a little bit, there's like, oh no, I didn't appreciate you who you are. I feel distant. And in a certain way, I start connecting to the real you in a much more profound way. I was maybe taking advantage of things, or I wasn't showing you the respect that you deserve. So what am I really doing? I'm focusing on the you, like a much deeper version of you. And that kind of feeling is, and I miss you, I want to be close to you. So now imagine that to yourself. Your own relationship. When a person steals something, it's not only going against another person, obviously, but it's a disgrace to you that you're a thief. So when a person does that, let's say a person does something, he feels disgusting about himself. It's like, you just feel like yuck. You watch like 10 hours of Netflix, and you get up, you're like, I feel disgusting. So that feeling of like, I feel so far. And if from that place of farness, you're like, I miss me. I miss the me. I needed to get away to see in that place the real me. So in a certain way, when you get to that place of distance, you identify, I don't want this. Who's the I? And you get this feeling of just catapulting to this very exalted place. So this is part of the teshuvah of, I got involved in something and I feel disgusting about it. And now I want to go to the highest place of me. The highest place of me is called the Yud. By the way, your head is like a Yud. The highest place of me is this exalted universe called Goylem, that from that place I can now rewrite anything I want. I can now redesign my life. Now, why are you able to do that? And why does that erase the sin? Because in a certain crazy way, the sin itself helped you to get there. Because the distance now helped you to feel far from you, and the desire, I just want to be back to who I really am. I miss you. You're speaking to your spouse, your partner, your friend. I miss you. So the distance created the space of, and I don't want this, and I want this. So when you get to that very exalted place, you can now rewrite words. That's a Yud. Okay? And the Rebbe also points out that one of the steps in teshuvah is called charata. Charata also means to carve something out. You're recarving all the letters. It means to feel bad, but it also means to carve. I'm recarving a new life. It's like teshuvah can change your life entirely. Teshuvah is so powerful. Yeah.
If that collection of letters is given an energy from the original golem state of Yud through certain kind of coming down into a different level, and that corresponds with the angel
yes.
What's the word, the kind of
category.
Yeah, category. How is that energy given to that specific group of letters in the first place? How is that specific group of letters?
Because the problem was that a person from his golem, he, instead of using that universe for holiness, he took the power of golem, he took the power of what a yud could become, which is anything. He could build a Shema Beis HaMikdash. And he took, that's what we're talking about, you could take from the golem and build anything. He started building unhealthy things. That was a contamination. He took the power of creating anything and he used it to create lowly things. From that lowly space, though, he recognizes, I don't want this. He goes back up to his source, and in that universe, you could start recreating, but now from a holy place. So I just want to point something out, and that's interesting, that it says, Noise Avain. So Noise Avain, which we talk about in the Hashem's powers of forgiveness, that he forgives us. Noise Avain, I think it means like he removes iniquity. He's forgiving. But it's interesting, the word nose means literally to lift up. It's like you're lifting up the word avon, you're lifting it up to the world of Goylam, to the world of the Yud, to the world of Chachma. And now the Rebbe says, and according to everything that we've introduced, now we can understand a little bit about Purim. Okay, so I needed that introduction, and we're going to introduce the first idea here, and then continue with it. That the Gemara says, Chayevinish libisume, bepuraya, a person is obligated to get spicy. Chayevinish libisume, to get boisem, to get spicy on Purim. Rashi says, yes, lishtaker beyayin, to drink wine. But then, for something, add, until the lo yada ben ora Haman leborach Mordechai, until you don't know the difference between cursed is Haman and blessed is Mordechai. That's the Gemara. Yes, there is a mitzvah to get spicy on Purim, not only a mitzvah, chayiv, an obligation. The guys in my morning shir will be with me on Purim. Everyone else, feel free to come by after your Suda if you'd like. It's going to be geschmack. Okay? So, says the Rebbe, for who davar pelamayid. This is crazy. This is the craziest mitzvah ever. Generally, the Jewish people, we consider being kind of straight and very methodical, very thought out, rational, logical. And now we have a mitzvah where we just, I don't know what to say. Says the Rebbe. We never found any place in the Torah, which is where we look for wisdom and guidance, where something good comes out of drinking tons of wine. Every time that lots of wine is drunk, it goes bad. Noach, that was bad. Benos Lot, that wasn't great. Things revolving lots of wine, and that's why we are not into, boozing. And anybody thinks, no, but don't like religious, like people drink a cup of wine for Kiddush. And this much Macallan 50 between the fish and the soup. That's it. Yeah, by the way, that's all you need. It's the nun sharibina, Macallan nun sharibina. It's a shala though because it's a cherry cask. So you don't need, when somebody puts a bottle on the table, the idea is that you don't, see your friend through the bottle, after a few minutes. Like, that wasn't the intention here. So what's with Purim? What's going on here? I don't chab, says the Rebbe. Ubefrat l'shtot kol kach, and to drink so much, shekemat sheyoytze medaita v'sichle chas v'shalom, that you mamish like ad lo yada ben ora Haman leborach Mordechai. You don't know the difference between the biggest tzaddik in the world and mamish, I'm sorry to say, Hitler. Yimach shemo. You can't. How do you even say that? You can't even say these words. You cannot say these words. You cannot speak like this. This is the craziest holiday ever. What good could come out of the craziest day of the year? There must be some great secret, and the Rebbe is about to explain, and I want you to think about something. Does it say Hashem's name in the Megillah? I'm leaving you a shtick on a cliffhanger today. It does not say Hashem's name in the Megillah. However, if you look at some of the Mefarshim, the commentators on the Megillah, God's name is everywhere. It's just written in secret. It's written as acronyms, in the beginnings of words, 4 words in a row, or the last letter of words, or it's written in all sorts of code, everywhere. The whole Megillah is filled with this. The Kamar Nareb has a sefer, just goes through all the names of Hashem, everywhere. The whole sefer is like this thick of just all the names of God in the Megillah. Like, no, it's not written. It's everywhere. One of the most famous spots, Yud and a Hey, and a Vav and a Hey, in order, which is also significant, in the verse, the 5th chapter, verse 4, you guys will look it up, where it's speaking about coming to the big party. Esther makes these parties also, and is like inviting people to the party. And listen to the verse. Yavoi ha-melech ve'haman. Yavoi ha-yoim ha-melech ve'haman. And the melech and Haman will come to the party. Hold on. The same verse that has the king, who's Hashem, and Haman, that verse is talking about Hashem's name? How could it be? How could it be that Haman and Hamelech are in the same verse? So don't lose track of where we came from. Zochar es yom ha-Shabbos lakadshay. Zochar eis asher asalacha Amalek. Chilufeim begoylem. Pay attention. Taking the Averas and redesigning through teshuvah. Mechayv inish lebesume bepuraya ad lo yada ben Araham leborach Mordechai. We're going to have to start piecing this whole story together. Like I said, this is a series. Okay, stay tuned next time as we go deeper into this story. And I promise, bli neder, we will get to costumes. Have a wonderful day, Kol Tov.